This Virginia stand up. Sure.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Marsha McLean, and I am the host for the 2.0 Grandma podcast. And it is my pleasure to welcome a very special guest today, Miss Blanca Fernandez. So let me tell you a little bit about Blanca, okay, and how I know her. We met on the internet. Yes, the internet. But it was a good thing. It was positive, okay? Let me tell you how we met. So we were looking for someone to help us with virtual workout sessions. And I don't think it was in the beginning of COVID, maybe around the middle, I think, of COVID. And so, everybody was at home. We were trying to work. Everybody was scared to go anywhere. So I asked a few friends about different people, tried a few people, and it didn't work out. And then my virtual assistant actually is the one that found Blanca, and she said, "Oh, she would be perfect." So I checked her out, and I looked at some of went to her website, looked at some of the things she was doing. I'm like, oh yeah. And at that time, I really didn't know her background, but I tell you, once I found out her background, I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect person because she is a degree kinesiologist, and the word alone sends like, oh gosh, she must be really highly degreed or something, because that word within itself is kind of hard to say, right? So anybody studying that would know. But I thought, wow, so that's like the study of, and at first I thought, is the study of bones, a study of what is it really? But I found out, I did a little research and I found out what it was, and I'm like, wow, she would be perfect for us. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Miss Blanca Fernandez. She's going to tell us all about how she got started with this. And she's going to tell you about her grandma, which was another reason why I was like, oh, she's the perfect person for this. So Blanca, take it away.
Thank you. So I want to say thank you for having me on here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity and trust to be able to work with you and be a part of this health journey. So I'll just go ahead and get that out the way.
Yes, thank you. My pleasure. You saved my life. We'll talk about that, Joan.
Yes. So I have the platform built by Blanca, and I'm a personal trainer. And what got me there was I always did sports. Growing up. And then I went to study it further. I did kinesiology, which is the study of movement. So ology study, kines movement. So this is movements in regard to the body with exercise and looking at the body biomechanically. So I studied that for 4 years, and that made me an exercise specialist. After that, I went and I got another specialization, and I became CSCS certified. So I became a certified strength and conditioning specialist. That allowed me to be the strength coach for college athletes, to do programming, all the stuff based on their season. And then I became a personal trainer. That was when I realized that I wanted to study a little bit more and go into detail with the way I was training my clients. And I went in and I got an associate of science and physical therapy assistant. So those are everything that I do. And that's how I apply it.
And so how did you get interested in my population, my peeps, my tribe? How did you end up getting connected or even getting interested? Because a lot of people are not interested in working with people 50 plus. They're like, yeah, whatever, that sort of thing. And sometimes we always say here at Grandma's 2.0, we say that one of the reasons why I got started with this movement is because people don't see us, when you're a certain age, 50 plus, people don't really see you. They're like, yeah, whatever, they don't think you matter as much. And so I was just, like I said, surprised somebody with your background was really interested in this population. So tell us about that. How did you get started there?
So to say that it came to me was an understatement, because my grandma has played a huge part in my life. She's turning 95 on the 26th, and she helped raise us, and she was very, very active in the garden, very active in the art. She just always loved to be moving, period. And she was always there for everything, always there at the track meets, always there. So she physically was very in our lives. And As I started venturing into personal training, she was very supportive of that. She was very supportive. She wanted to get into exercising as well. But when the pandemic started and I moved back home, there was no gym. And so I created a gym in my garage and I just started working out and I became a virtual personal trainer, which was new to me and something that I always refused, but now love. And I hated it
Did
completely,
you
but then I
really?
fell in love with it. Yes, I don't like anything technology related, but now I'm in love with it. I get to meet amazing people from all over. So
Yes, yes.
I started training in my garage and I was recording it because that's all I had. And then next thing you know, I would see my grandma in the background. She would grab the 2 pound weights in the corner and she would start to copy me. And I'm like, wait a minute, I need to record this. And so I started to post it and I got amazing feedback of our garage pandemic workout. And that was when you reached out. And at first I was like, okay, hopefully she's not a scammer. And then it just worked out perfectly. And that's how it went. And I was actually I'm working in a clinic. I worked in a geriatric clinic as well, and then I also worked in pediatrics. So I see how everybody moves.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's what got
mm-hmm,
me here.
mm.
And she she's just energetic and there's so much that she wants to do, so much that she still wants to see, and I want to make
Mm.
sure that she can do that, and there's so much that I want to show her too that I want her to be around for.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
physically being able to do it is going to be the gateway to being able
Yes,
to
to
do it.
everything.
And this
Yes.
population is literally about doing what you want and what you can do, and so I just wanted to be the facilitator, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are very honored to have you, and I know in my life I feel very blessed to have you. There was a quote that you had in your bio that I really loved, and I think this is a perfect time to say it based on what you just said. It says, "What you do today will be an investment in your future self." Oh my God! Now that's not the end of the quote, but that is beautiful because that is kind of the grounding idea or thing that we need to keep in the back of our minds, right, when we think about, aging and thinking about all the things we want to do. Now for me, I always tell you this: I like to wear heels. I like dancing. I just like having fun. Okay. And so I said, now Blanca, I want to be able to wear heels. I don't care if I have to, I just want to be able to wear heels. It doesn't matter. So tell me what I need to do to make sure. So my future self is going to be glamorous in heels. Okay. so so that's what I'm working towards. And I have a 21-month-old grandson who is so energetic, and my future self wants to be able to interact with him. I want to be able to get on the floor with him and play with him. Now he's learning. So it is at his childcare. He's learning yoga. So he's doing the yoga moves, the downward dog, and the what is it? The child's
Child's
pose,
pose.
child's pose. Yeah, and I was like, and he's also learning Spanish and all this stuff. But he's an amazing little boy. So and of course I'm saying it because I'm biased. But anyway. But he is just, and I want to be able to interact with him. And if you can't get on the floor or get down at his level, you cannot interact with him. And so that's another reason why I'm investing today for my future self. Okay. And I really love that because that makes so much sense. It breaks down the why we need to do this. And grandmas out there, if you haven't heard anything else, please know that if you do the work now, you'll be able to enjoy it later. You really will. So I try to make sure that I'm doing something every single day, moving my body so that I will, because if you get still, I know even sometimes when I'm sitting for work, when I have to sit in front of my computer, I do virtual classes, and I'll notice myself getting a little stiff. So I have to get up and do a little exercise, so you can't be still. You got to keep it moving. So I really love that quote. And I thought that was the best place to kind of interject that here. So I really like the fact that you said your grandma was also a motivating force in keeping this going, and this whole virtual thing. COVID impacted us in all different ways, and a lot of people say, oh, it's so negative, but there's been a lot of positive as well. there's been a lot of positive
Yes.
because, yeah, I know for me, I really jumped into Grandma's 2.0 during that time because I didn't have time before then, but I made the time. I had all that time on my hand. I'm like, oh, this is the perfect opportunity for it. So for a lot of us, it really made a difference, and it was a positive thing. So, but yeah, so now tell us, you say you work with athletes. You were an athlete yourself, right? I think I heard you
Yes.
say that. Yes. And then working with some folks from pediatrics all the way to geriatrics, and that's phenomenal as well. Now tell us about the class that you offer for Grandma's 2.0. I want people to know about that.
So the class that I offer for Grandma 2.0 is on Wednesdays and Fridays from 5 to 5:45 Eastern time, and it's via Zoom, and it's a recurring link. So you just use that same link, pop on the class, and then we do our workout, and that's the routine. So we spend the first, I always dedicate the first 15 minutes of the class for something individualized, and that's going to be anybody needing to work on anything, stretch anything out, massage anything out, or do any rehab exercises before we get into the class, so that our quality of movement is transferred over for when we do our other things that we can do together. Let it be balance, getting up and down off the floor, some more mobility work, or just things getting your heart rate up, and some functional exercises as well. So that's the structure of the class, and I feel like that's a perfect time frame. It's not too long where people are completely wiped out by the end, but then also they have those first 15 minutes to check in with me and to really take their time and to say, this is how I'm feeling. And I say, okay, this is what we're going to do today to alleviate some of that, and this is how we're going to carry it over, so that you can have a toolbox of what you're going to do in the class, what you're going to do outside of the class, when you want to do other activities such as playing with your grandkids, or going to a social event in the highest heels for anyone that's in the room. And so this is what I want to be able to give people access to doing.
And I love that because it's individualized. So I don't have to worry about, well, I don't need to do that. So why am I doing that? And to me, that is the beauty of what you do. Now, we've had some other classes and it was everybody doing the same thing. So you didn't feel like your needs were being met. So I love the fact that it's almost like having, in school when the kid has an IEP kind of thing, but it's very individualized for that, especially, and not just the first 15 minutes either, all the way through. You say, okay, Marsha, I want you to work on this. So-and-so, I want you to work on this. So-and-so, work on this, so that everybody is getting what they need. And to me, that's the beauty of it. And it's a small group, but to me, small groups work. And that's one of the things that I say to my students in the early childhood classroom. Small groups work because people are getting what they need. And that's the most important part of any kind of program like that. When you do, education is great, but you got to individualize it for the people in the group. So I thank you for that, because without your insight, I don't know. Like I said, I've worked in a lot of different workout classes and groups, but it's usually not individualized like that. So that is one, and that's an excellent selling point for you. Anyway, so to say that, yeah, the class is individualized. Even though we're here together and the fellowship is good too, but
Yeah,
we are working on things that matter to us. That
everyone's
is
on the same mission.
exactly of trying
Hmm.
to, now where I'm focused on playing with my grandson and being able to wear heels. Somebody else might be focused on something totally different. But again, it's individualized, so that makes it beautiful. So now let me ask you about this. I was thinking about, so your platform, tell us about your platform, Built by Blanca,
So
outside of
the
what you do for us grandmas.
mhm. So the platform Built by Blanca, I chose the name like built in a form of building someone. And some people have asked me, oh, I thought it was going to be bodybuilding or something like that. And it's a whole different world. It's not what I do. That it's okay if you want to do that, but that's not what I do. And I like the concept to build because I'm building a person as a whole. It's not just exercise that I'm showing them. I'm not just demonstrating exercises because when I don't individualize exercises, then it just turns into me telling you what to do and you doing it because you think that you're supposed to do it. So my biggest thing is creating these pillars to help somebody have intention behind their exercises, knowing that they get to exercise so that they can do something. So I always will give somebody tools based on how they're feeling. They're improving their body awareness. They're understanding, okay, they're dealing with pain management, or they're understanding, okay, this is what I need to do for some maintenance. They are the second pillar of Built by Blanca is going to be body positivity. And we are just focused on feeling good, feeling comfort and confidence in exercise, and just getting excited about the things that we're able to do. Somebody bends down and picks something up and they're able to squat down to the ground and they haven't done that in so long. We're going to celebrate that.
Yes.
I find just as much value in that as teaching somebody how to deadlift however many pounds, reach their PR. I find just as much value. And the other pillar is going to be functional exercise, and that's going to be making sure that it's going to translate towards what they're doing and what is in their lifestyle, because we often exercise can have like the rep of doing like linear like exercises, but no, you're crouching down, you're kneeling this way, you're rotating, you're twisting, you're grabbing something, you're reaching above, you're getting low. So there's so many different ranges that I want to make sure that we work in to be able to accommodate our actual everyday movements. So
well, those are beautiful. I want to tell everybody about my experience with those pillars. Okay. So let's take a little quick break and we'll come right back. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
I can tell you my problems, meditating my silence. But I keep pushing my pen, rotating my stylus. Brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls go follow. All the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow all the fans go bravo. Smile so much to hide my sorrows. Faith is shaky in vibrato. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes. Couple things I know, couple things I show, couple things I don't. I can tell you my problems, I can tell you my sins, I can tell you my problems. I'm uncomfortable in my skin, I'm uncomfortable with my ends, I'm uncomfortable with my friends, I'm uncomfortable with my drinking, I'm uncomfortable with my thinking, I'm uncomfortable with my waist, I'm uncomfortable in this space, I'm uncomfortable on good days, I'm uncomfortable on bad days, I'm uncomfortable with my soul, I'm uncomfortable with my heart, I'm uncomfortable with myself, I'm uncomfortable with my heart, I'm uncomfortable with my thoughts, I'm uncomfortable with my feelings, and sadly I'm uncomfortable with healing. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes. I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
Okay, so now let's talk about the pillars that you were just talking about. So for the functional exercise, for me, this morning as I was trying to get prepared for today, I got down on the floor, I was vacuuming, I was on the floor picking up, I mean, all the way down on the floor picking up stuff and and I felt really accomplished by that. And I know I've told you this before, but I can remember a time, I would say probably a couple of years ago, when I was afraid to get on the floor, to kneel down there, because I was like, am I going to maybe get back up? You know, so I questioned myself. But the confidence that I have in my body now is like never before. And I've always been a person that was a little bit afraid of my body, afraid with my body, a little bit scared about, oh, I can't do that. Like even as a kid, I was as a teenager, but I was that way. And that's some personal issues that happened to me as a kid, and that's why I was afraid. But it's amazing that now I'm seeing and I'm appreciating my body in a different way, that I can do these things. And then the other thing about body positivity, oh my God. Now, I can remember a few years back when I would never wear anything that cut off at my midriff here. I was like, you must be crazy. I'm not wearing that. But now when I go work out, I wear that. And everybody's always saying, oh my God, you look so good. Oh my God, you're always so dressed up. I'm not dressed up. It's just that it's just this feeling about myself that has changed. And people notice that. And because you know how people say, well, you're different. What did you do? I didn't really do anything, but it's just the way that I feel about myself, that confidence that I have about myself, because I'm doing something for myself. And so, I am a living witness. I am your testimony that this works. Okay.
Yeah.
I really am. Now I can't remember what the other one was, but those two stood out to me when you said it. What was the first one you said?
It was body awareness.
Oh, yes, that too. Yes. Being aware of what my body can do, what I know I need to work on. Because like I know that I say to you, okay, so this has been hurting me. Before I wouldn't say anything about it. I just deal with the pain.
Yeah.
But but now I've gotten to the point where I want to tell you, because I know you can help me fix it.
Yeah.
Before I didn't have anybody help me fix it. So I just said, I'd say the devil is a lie and keep going. And keep going. But, and then, try to figure it out for myself. But yeah, and I feel so much better. I feel so much better. And I had my grandson this past weekend, and yes, he wore me out, but I was able to handle him. And it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So it's like, oh my God. And I didn't have it by myself all that time. For the most part, I did. But like the first day and the last day, his mom was here with him. So, it wasn't as bad those 2 days. But he, it was exhausting. But I was able to handle it.
You were able
to do
that's
the thing. That's a huge accomplishment. Yeah. So I thank you for that. Oh my God.
You're welcome. And so with just elaborating on these 3 pillars and what they allow you to do. So when you have body awareness, this is going to improve your conversation with people that at one point may be responsible for your health. And if you're not able to communicate that effectively, they are going to make decisions for you. Ooh. And so when you're able to say, hey, I felt this on that day, and this was because of this, and I know this. And when I am doing this, I feel it here and I feel that there. And that allows the person to work with you versus guess what happened. Because one thing is, if you tell me, oh, this was hurting this one day, and I'll be like, what'd you do? I don't know.
Right.
Okay, well, I don't know either then. So, and then I want to make sure that people feel confident in what they're doing. And the reason why I want them to feel confident is because people be like, oh, I don't want to work out because I don't want people to look at me and see that I'm doing it wrong. But if I give them the power to know what they are working, why they are working, and what is supposed to be burning, they know that they're protecting themselves, because it's not going to be burning where it's not supposed to be burning. They're not compensating. And then they can't unsee it. When they go see other people exercise, they're gonna be like, oh, they're doing it wrong. Oh, they need to do this. Oh, they need to do that. And so that's gonna be where the body awareness comes in. And it's a huge aspect in opening that dialogue, because we're quiet about pain. We're quiet, even quiet about victories sometimes. And this is something that we need to celebrate and take ownership for, and be able to communicate to just further advance where we want to go, and to help people help us. And that's for that pillar. The other pillar, as far as body positivity, is understanding that there's so many other goals other than aesthetics. A lot of the times we often will compliment each other the first time we see them, something aesthetic related, and that has nothing to deal with how far they come or what.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's not, we're not saying, oh, you're glowing today. You look like you're in a great place today. You look like you look really strong. You look like you've been doing really well. Or I'm loving the energy that you're giving today. And that can be an energy that they worked hard on. They went to a lot of therapy for that. They can, so we can create goals with exercise, such as I was able to reach up something above my head without it hurting. Something hurt, and then I was able to do this, that, and then it felt better, and I fixed it for myself. That's going to be that other pillar. And then the last one is going to be the functional exercises. Now, exercise can be a bad rep when it comes to people falling into patterns, doing things that are linear. They just will only do squats. They'll only do push-ups. They'll only do, they'll just stay in a linear plane. They'll move only this way, but they're not realizing that you can get strong in that plane. But when you grab your clothes from your washer and then you dive down and dip it into it and you put it into your dryer, or when you are reaching down to grab something or reaching across, we have to realize we're twisting, bending, turning, and moving all these planes. And those are those planes that people get hurt in. And so I want to make sure that I'm taking into consideration what their lifestyle demands are. I'm not going to have them do something that they don't need to do with their life. I'm going to make sure it's something that appeals to them and it allows them to do what they do. People are like, what do you do for a living? And I'll just be like, I help people do what they do. Are you an electrician? I'm gonna help you be an amazing electrician.
Right.
Are you a grandma? I'm gonna help you be grandma. Like whatever it is, I'm gonna help you do it. I'm gonna study those things and I'm gonna get you there to keep you there. So those are all those pillars and how I'm able to apply it in my training. Because if not, it's just me telling them what to do. It's just
right. And I don't know if you remember this, but real quickly, remember when we first got started, there was a girl who wanted to do this. She said, but I thought she was going to exercise with us. And I'm like, but we're individualizing it. So there's a difference. And she can't do everything that everybody's doing at the same time. But what she's doing is taking the time to individualize for everybody. Well, that was a missed opportunity for her, and so be it. But I want to thank you for being on the show today, because I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that others now will hear about you. And so what we will do first, I want you to tell us, how people can get in touch with you, all your social media sites, all of that. And then we probably want to do another episode later, another opportunity, maybe season 2. This is our first season. So I want to have an opportunity for you to come back again. Okay. So tell us your socials.
Yes. So the way to reach me is going to be, my website is www.builtbyblanca.com. My Instagram, Built by Blanca. My Facebook, Built by Blanca. My email is Blanca@BuiltByBlanca. So it's there. It's there. So it's for all of the pages and platforms. That's how you find me. And you can sign up through the link on my website. You can sign up through the link on my Instagram page. You can find a link through my Facebook. So you'll have different ways to access me. And then we set up a consultation. We see how I can help you. And then we move forward from there.
Well, I thank you again for being here. And I love, one other thing that I want people to know about is that if you have let's say you're doing physical therapy or something, Blanca will speak with your doctors and help you, and then give you, and then whatever, so that they approve and know what you're doing in addition to their therapy. She will work with them as well. And so that to me is an added bonus. So Blanca, I thank you for that, for helping the ladies that we work out with in our group. And you are wonderful. So I just want you to know that you are a blessing in my life. And I thank you, and thank you for being on today so we could share you with everyone else.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Take care now. See you next week. Bye.